just downstairs in my cabin. I'm in the port side forward berth cabin. We're making our way now from Bora Bora back over to the Rangiroa area. It's about a three and a half hour crossing, and it's been kind of rolling with fairly good swells all the way across. Nobody's seasick yet that I know of. Downstairs on the boat is one of the worst places to be if you're feeling at all seasick, because this is where you get kind of most of the rocking motion. But on this particular boat, the only place to sit upstairs is really in the salon, or just outside the salon, in the outside deck outside the salon. Can't really sit outside up top anywhere because there's no rain cover, and it's been raining all day long, so it'll get pretty wet if you're sitting up there. But I'm not feeling seasick at all. I don't tend to get seasick. But some people have taken a few pills just to kind of get ready in case they do get seasick. So we're making our way back over from Bora Bora over to Rangiroa. Shouldn't be too much longer before we see land and get over there. Just after 6 o'clock in the evening now, and a little over 3 hours to make the crossing from Bora Bora over to the island over here back in this lagoon. It's called Tahaa. This is kind of the weather we've been into for today. Just a lot of wind and some pretty good swells out in the open water. Starting to calm down a little bit now as we get back into the bay a bit, but a little darker than normal as well tonight. We're going to pull into that lagoon area back in there between those two islands. They share the same lagoon area, and probably grab a mooring ball in there for the night. The church right along the shoreline looks so pretty with all the lights on inside as we come in at around 6:20. He's getting in our wake.
Yeah,
He's an outrigger canoe has come up and has got right in our wake and just being sucked up behind us.
Oh my goodness.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Oh, it's not pork tenderloin, thank God. It's real pork.
Like a pork roast.
It's a pork roast.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, they're all around here.
Wow, that's a close-up shot, Bob.
Good morning from the bridge of the boat. It is a better morning today than the last number of mornings. We have less wind today is what's happening. And we also have more sunshine, so that's a good sign. Last day on the boat today, we just had breakfast, finished up breakfast, and shortly we're going to be pulling anchor and making our way over to something on land where there's, I think, a pearl shop. Black pearls are famous in this part of the world, and I think that's what we're going to go see, is visit one of those today. There's going to be some more time in the water, some snorkeling today, and then later on this evening, I think we'll be back at base at Rangiroa. Let's go to the Motu.
There you go.
Five people in the dinghy. It's go to the Motu slow. It's a little bit like just threading the needle to get in here. There's little markers here, but these coral heads are just a foot or so under the water. Some of them are even breaking the surface over there. So you got to kind of just thread your way through here to get into that Motu over there. Pretty shallow. We're not alone on the island. It looks like some other people have kayaked in here. They're probably saying, oh, these guys in the boat who came over now, we thought he had this place totally to ourselves, and now we don't. a small little motu surrounded on all sides by the Pacific Ocean. And the breakwater way out that way along the reef. And just the gentle waters inside here surrounding this little motu. So this is it, the entire island. Well, right on cue, just as we're about ready to head over to do our first snorkel, the rain has started to come back down again. But I guess we're going to get wet here in just a moment anyway, so it probably doesn't matter that much right now. So I think this is the drift snorkel dive. He's gone back to get the rest of the crew. Then I think we all kind of get in the water here and we just drift from one end of the motu to the other end of the motu. This is the place that they don't want us to use flippers in here. They want us to just use water shoes so as to try to minimize any damage to the coral inside the lagoon. Sure glad we bought the water shoes though. It'd be pretty tough walking on this stuff without water shoes. You can see the current just going along here between these two motus islands, and it just takes you all the way down through there. Captain said that some of the people on these trips have done this like 6 or 7 times, just come back and forth and drifted from one end to the other. Well, that's what happens swimming in really shallow water along the coral. You do make contact occasionally and scratch up your leg and make a few cuts. That's what happened to me. Pretty shallow out there, so you're just kind of, you know, in a few feet of water, kind of moving your body in between all this different coral. And the current is kind of pulling you along a little bit gently, not all that fast. But I got into a couple of situations where it was a little bit tight and I had to kind of pull my body over some coral to kind of get out. And that's where that happened. It happens. Pretty shallow out there. But that's a really, really nice little drift dive right along that body of water between these two motus. Good morning from the bridge of the boat. It is a better morning today than the last number of mornings. We have less wind today is what's happening. And we also have more sunshine, so that's a good sign. Last day on the boat today, we just had breakfast, finished up breakfast, and shortly we're going to be pulling anchor and making our way over to something on land where there's, I think, a pearl shop. Black pearls are famous in this part of the world, and I think that's what we're going to go see, is visit one of those today. It's going to be some more time in the water, some snorkeling today, and then later on this evening, I think we'll be back at base at Raiatea. I'm told, though, that they're not going to actually stay right at the dock. They're going to pull back out again and then come back in early Friday morning. and we'll all be getting off and departing Friday morning. I think you have to be off the boat by 9 o'clock Friday morning, something like that. So last day on the boat, the Tahaa Moana. Hope I'm saying that right. Still haven't got the name of the boat down after a week, but here's what it looks like out here this morning. The next morning, we found ourselves all back at the Tradewinds base in Raiatea, and we disembarked from the boats, and Lois and I then decided we were going to hop on a plane and head to the northwest to another island for some diving in Rangiroa. So that's the place we're staying at. It's called the Raira Lagoon, and they spell lagoon with just one O for some reason. But it's just about, I don't know, 6 bungalows maybe, something like that. The one we're in is kind of a shared bungalow. We share the front outdoor space, and there's 2 rooms in the bungalow. I think a lot of these other ones just have 1 room. But this is the main drag in Rangiroa. It runs all along the island, not the whole atoll, but a portion of it runs back and forth. And Top Dive is just somewhere down that way. Airport's only a few minutes down that way as well. So they're going to pick us up here and then take us out to their base and pick up a few other people along the way, more than likely. Boat ready to go out. That's the little bigger boat, I think. We're going to be over here on this boat, the black one. Nice boats. That is the fastest drift dive I have ever done. We were really moving under the water there. And we got a lot deeper than I thought. We were actually down about 100 feet under the water, so we had to do about a 5-minute decompression at about 17 feet, 18 feet, something like that. Just hang there for 5 minutes before we came back up to the surface. So a little deeper than I thought. One of the other people who was down there said, yeah, 105 feet deep.
Only I have the world, I give it all to you, babe.
So the place we were staying at was called the Rangiroa Lagoon. They had some entertainment at night with some music, and then these little huts sort of spread out over this area alongside the ocean. We had this little hut right here, which was just fine. We had a shared accommodation out front, and yeah, quite enjoyed our stay at the Rangiroa Lagoon. So that was our trip to French Polynesia. We flew back to Tahiti, Papeete, and then back to Toronto. A little bit too much rain on this trip for my liking, but you know, when you travel, you get what you get in terms of the weather. Thanks for coming along with us on this beautiful island of French Polynesia. Maybe one day we'll go back.